Okay, welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Friday, August 2nd. We'll go over some news headlines and also we'll recap Saints training camp from today. So we'll begin with that. So we'll go with scoreboard update in just a few minutes. So give me 1 second to switch everything over. So we're off the screen. So let's go ahead and do some scoreboard updates. Okay, also we are recording on the Anchor.fm app for the podcast. So if you want to access the podcast, you can access the podcast. Let me go ahead and switch this out. So if you're on the screen, so we'll have everything directly on your screen. So how you doing, Randy Kirby? What's up? What's up today? Um, we had I kind of do that because look, I have to make sure that everything is on, Randy. So please don't be alarmed about that. So if you don't hear my voice, so okay, let's begin with MLB scoreboard update at 7:20 Central Time. That's 8:20 in the Eastern Time Zone. Just tell them I had to make sure I had I had to make sure everything is on so he'll know so they won't get all worried and stuff. So that's everything's on the screen. So let's go ahead and go over some scoreboard. How you doing once again, Randy? So let's go ahead and go over scoreboard update. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Pull it in my screen. Everything's in the screen, inside the screens. Okay, Blue Jays up 3-0, bottom of the fourth. That's going on right now. Also in the bottom of the fourth, it's the Mets up 3-1. That's in the bottom of the fourth. Pirates have runners at first and second. Also, the White Sox up 2-1 on the Phillies. That is the top of the fifth. Also, in the top of the fourth, it is the Yankees up 4-2. Boston has runners at first and second, one out. Also, it is Cleveland up 7-1. Two outs, bottom three. Also, going into the fourth, your Braves right now, Randy. Unfortunately, I gotta tell you, I know you're upset, gonna be upset about it. It's 3-0. Um, um, in going into the fourth, so it's 3-0. Um, Reds on top. Also, it is the Detroit Tigers up 1-0, bottom one. Also, the Astros are just getting started in the game tonight in Houston against the Mariners. Bottom one, one are at first and one out. Also, the Royals up 1-0. Also, it was the Rockies and the Giants are getting ready to start. Also, at 8:40 Central Time here in the Central Time Zone, it will be the Arizona D-backs and Washington Nationals. Also, it will be the Dodgers and Padres at 9:10. So 10:10 on the uh, East Coast and 7:10 on the West Coast. So that's on the West Coast. Also, it is Cubs up 6-2. They did win the game, so Cubs right now, hopefully. Um, yeah, they're hot right now in 6 to 9 innings. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, Randy. Absolute. Right now, the Reds. I'm looking at it right now on my screen. It's 3-0. So that's um, that's in the top of the fourth. So top of the fourth right now. It is three to um, 3-0 Reds. So hopefully they can come back in the game. But they got a long way to go, Randy. So sure, the Reds are 50 and 57. They're 50 and 57. They might not even make the playoffs. So y'all should be able to beat them. So right now it's on. They're behind. So That is the MLB scoreboard update. Let's go to the minor league scoreboards updates. Let's go there to the minor league level. Minor league level on the screen. This is going to be AAA first. We'll go over AAA scores in just a few seconds. We wait for the computers to send them in. So I don't know if it'll come up. I'm kind of I got so many things on my screen, so I just have to kind of give it a few seconds, and we'll get it up on our screen in just a few seconds. Let me go ahead and switch it. So if you're in here, please be patient. We have to get the streams, the internet connection. The internet connection sometimes on the edge is a little wobbly, but look, we hopefully we can get a, um, a load up so we can get the scores in. So hopefully we can. So let me go ahead and try it again one more time because I know it's kind of shaky right now. So let's go ahead and switch it over. Okay, third time's a charm. So okay, let's go ahead and go over some scores. In the bottom of the fifth, it is Louisville up 2-0. The runners at first and second. Also, Norfolk is up 3-2 going into the fifth. So that's 3-2 Norfolk up. Also, watch it live on TV. All right, thank you, Randy. I'm watching live on TV. Okay. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. Randy Kervin, if you know it, he does a rant called Rant and Randy's Rant. You can um, follow him on Facebook, and also you can follow him on YouTube as well. He does a great rant, so I encourage you to give him a try or something like that. Okay, middle of the sixth, it is Syracuse up 3-1. Also, in the bottom of the fourth, it is Gwinnett up 8-1. That's in the bottom of the fourth. Runners at the corners, first and third. Also, Rochester is up 2-0. That's in the bottom of the sixth. Also, it is Indianapolis up 2-0. Also, Sacramento up 2-0. Bottom one. Also, bottom two. It is El Paso scoreless. Also, it is San Antonio and Fresno scoreless going into the second. Also, it is um, Albuquerque up 3-0. Trying to say El Paso, Albuquerque. Sorry, I'm thinking Albuquerque. Okay. Top of the third is Lehigh Valley up 3-0. The Baby Cakes in Salt Lake City will play later. Also, the Omaha Storm Chasers in Reno Aces will play later. Also, Las Vegas and um, Oklahoma City will be later as well. And also later um, in the 9 o'clock hour will be Tacoma and Iowa. So that is the AAA scoreboard. Let's go ahead and give you the AA scoreboard. We'll give you an NFL update if we have games tonight. So preseason games, we'll give you an update there before we go to our video recap with the New Orleans Saints. So also, Harrisburg up 10-2, bottom of the fifth. Also, it is Portland up 3-0. Also, it is New Hampshire up 4-3. Also, it is Binghamton up 3-2. They have a runner at second and one out. Also, Jackson up 3-1. That's in Mobile is on the road. They're not in Mobile. Also, Trenton and Hartford scoreless. Also, the Mississippi Braves down 2-0. That is in the bottom of the third. Also, it is Montgomery up 2-0. Pensacola is up 1-0. Top five. Biloxi right now in the bottom of the first is up 3-1. Runners at first and second. Biloxi Shuckers. Also, Frisco and Amarillo scoreless. Runner at um, first and no outs for Frisco. Also, it is Tulsa up 2-0. Arkansas up 3-0. Corpus Christi up 1-0. And Altoona and Reading is delayed because I think they are playing. I don't know if that's a single game or so they are delayed bottom top one. So top one. Okay. That is the MLB and minor league baseball scoreboard update. We'll go to the give you an update on the see if they got any updates on NFL games or Canadian football. We'll go ahead and give you a Canadian football update as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Canadian football. So 1 second. We'll switch it over. Switch over to let's go to CSN. I'm about to go to CSN.com for no TSN. Excuse me. Sorry about that. TSN. We'll go to TSN to get the CFL updates for Friday night. TSN is the website for the Canadian side of okay, let's give you an update. Okay, let's give you an update on the Montreal and Ottawa game that's up in Montreal and Ottawa. Okay, Canadian football right now is 17-14 Montreal on top of the Ottawa Red Blacks. Right now, the game's going on. 37 seconds left to play before halftime. Let's go over the leaders. Okay, Ottawa, Davis has 5 of 12 passing, 44 yards. Crockett, 6 carries, 33 yards. Reams, 1 catch for 16. Montreal, Adams, 11 of 20 passing, 98 yards. Also, Standback, 8 carries, 67 yards. Also, Q Bray, 3 catches, 30 yards. That's 3 catches for 30 yards. So we'll once again have an update on these games tonight going on. So let's begin with our lead story. Let's go ahead and talk about. Okay, we'll have the New Orleans Saints press conferences. We will have them in clips. We will not have a full video. We'll have them in clips. So we'll start with Sean Payton. We'll play a few minutes of Sean Payton. Also, we'll play a few minutes of Demario Davis. Also, Thomas Morstead, Cam Jordan, and also Alvin Kamara. Let's go ahead and begin with Coach Sean Payton talking about today's training camp. Let's go ahead and do that. Switch this over. Let me put the Dolby's on. Because I got to put the Dolby's on. So give me 1 second. Put the Dolby's on so you'll be able to hear the audio through the mics. Because we'll have them through the mics running. Waiting 1 second on the so everything's up. So let's go ahead and start. Sean Payton.
Today's practice had some red zone in it. Any questions with where we're at right now?
How much does that help with the evaluation process? I guess especially for the linemen when you're able to get that red zone work in.
Well, there's just like an ongoing teaching progression, and that's part of the installation. Obviously, you're trying to get not all, but most of your installation done prior to beginning to play games. And it changes when you're in that area of the field. It's an area that you can give up yards, but if you're pretty efficient down there defensively and forcing teams to kick field goals, that can be pretty significant. And obviously, offensively, you're trying to score.
Okay, that's very important right there. Red zone efficiency. That's what he's talking about. Red zone efficiency. That's very important. I mean, when you look at it, look, if we get in the red zone and we score touchdowns instead of field goals, we will be okay. That's one thing I'm going to say about this. So we have to be efficient in the red zone at all time, because next Friday night will be the Saints and Minnesota Vikings, and we're going to see if they're going to be efficient in those red zones, because that's one thing we're going to be harping on throughout the 2019 season, because red zones are very important. Because look, if you don't score touchdowns, you kick field goals, you will not you're just going to lose the game. You're just going to give the game away. So let's go ahead and play a few more clips, and we'll go over to Thomas Morstead, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, and also Alvin Kamara. So we're going to play a few more minutes of Sean Payton. Also, I have the Saints full video on the on my Facebook page. Go to kerry.wehmeyer, the number 75, to get the full clip. So we're going to be playing these in clips.
Touchdown. So today was our first day getting in and getting into that, section of the field.
Sean, for a young player like Anzalone, how much did it benefit him going through a full 16 games?
I think quite a bit. Yeah, coming off the injury the year before, I think quite a bit. He's real smart, very comfortable in coverage, and it's to get through a year and the way he did and plays as well as he did. I think that there's a confidence level then you return with.
Some of that benefit too is physical then, because it can go through a whole off season.
Sure, yeah, he's not rehabbing.
Right.
He's actually in the off-season program.
Sean, when you look at the RPO quarterbacks going into the future, could you see them getting double-digit carries game in and game out? I mean, as far as sticking to that system.
Look, it's a good question. Philosophically, our league has seen an evolution offensively in different directions. There's been years where multiple tight ends. At some point you're going to have to be able to run the football. I think we're seeing a little bit more of some of the built-in run or passes, and yet I think there's a place for that depending on who your personnel is and what you're trying to accomplish. That ability to run the ball without it being a PO. Because there's times where you're going to just want to run the ball. All of that, I think, factors in. But, I think a lot of it depends on who you have personnel-wise and what your vision is as a team for your offense.
How did you versatile and just having Alvin's versatility, how much does that help you in the red zone? Did you work on that side?
Well, he's a good football player, not just a receiver. He's a good runner. So I think, there's a little bit more of a premium on your running game down there when you're getting some of the red coverages we do. And a 2.5, 3 yard gain is a pretty good play.
Sean, did you get a chance to see the pass interference challenge last night? Did you look?
No, I heard about it. It sounded like it took all of, not that long. And look, it's just another play that's getting challenged. I felt like everyone felt, was like we saw a pass interference get challenged last night, but I didn't see the play. I didn't see the play. I'll watch it.
Exactly. Those pass interference are going to get challenged this year because of the new rules coming in. So make no mistake about it. This is going to most likely help the game. So I know a lot of people's going to scream and holler and say all kind of stupid stuff. Oh, they haven't done anything and blah, 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 blah. But look, it's a start, folks. It's a absolute start. So, look, I don't want to hear anybody scream and holler and say, oh, they're not going to, oh, the referees are cheating. Look, the referees can do only what they have to do. So, that's the thing about it. So, let's finish up with Sean Payton. Also, we'll have Thomas Morstead and also Demario Davis. And also, we'll have Cam Jordan. So let's go ahead and finish up with Sean Payton.
The feedback I got was it was kind of an easy no call or ruling on the field stands, right? So, but I didn't see any of the game.
I know so much gets made of the unintended consequences, and it's so early, but you expect teams to maybe try to weaponize it in a way, try to have a technique to draw it?
Yeah, I don't. I think that'll be difficult. I think that would be that'd be challenge. I think that'd be hard. It's being officiated the same way, right? It's being officiated the same way. And if it goes to New York, they're going to look closer at it and then make a decision. And if they have to look at it probably over 30 seconds, they're probably going to stay with what they call on the field. So I think it's really the biggest thing is valuing your challenges a little differently now that you have one that might be a more significant play. I don't want to get caught in the second half without any challenges. So the 8-yard catch, no catch maybe, or feet in bounds in the first half probably doesn't merit using a challenge on if I can save it for a bigger play if need be. I mean, the worst thing that could happen for you as a coach would be to have a game-changing play in the second half and you're out of challenge flags.
Sean, meeting with the officials yesterday, do you think this will ever come about? Just the public perception and the integrity of the game, everything, needs to be on the up and up as far as the money involved and everything, as far as an official. And I don't know, they got a little offended when I asked them. I said, well, this official's from Mississippi, shouldn't.
So that is Sean Payton talking about the new rules. That's also the offense. So we will switch over to Thomas Morstead. We'll play a few minutes of him. So let's go ahead and play Thomas Morstead. He is the punter for the New Orleans Saints, explaining techniques and expectations. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So let's sit this up.
When's the last time you had a punter?
10 years ago, my rookie year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you get every rep and every
I try to.
preseason games? You
Yep.
do it all?
Yep.
You like that?
Sure.
What do you work on at this point of your career? Master this.
I don't know. I'm just trying to be the Drew Brees of punters, I guess. Just there's always something you can be better at and fine tune. And your body's changing as you get older. Recovery, nutrition, all these different pieces. So, you never arrive. Just constantly adjusting and trying to figure out a better way to do it.
Thomas, we were kind of just talking to Alvin about some of the more non-traditional stuff that he's done training-wise. You do a lot of that stuff too. When did you want to kind of start incorporating that? And do you feel like it helps you in your game specifically?
Yeah, I don't do anything without purpose. So, I'm always tinkering with things. It's funny you asked that because Alvin's actually given me little step-by-step challenges of how to make certain exercises more difficult or less stable, and so he's been one of my sources for new things to try.
Do you think, especially with stuff like yoga, things like that, in your time in the league, has there been kind of a greater acceptance of incorporating stuff like that from masculine football players?
Yeah, I think the college game is kind of ahead of the pro game in a lot of newer things. I think we're a little slower to adjust sometimes, and so I think the change is coming from the college level more than the pro level. And as college players become professionals, some of those things that they were doing at their colleges are now more and more integrated. Whether it be yoga or Pilates or scheduling when you do certain things. So much of today's world is data-based and science-based, and so it's just a race to acquire information. But at the end of the day, I think the best players I've been around are.
I'm gonna say this once again about Thomas Morstead. This young man, this guy, he can kick those balls. I'm gonna tell you, he can make those kicks, and he can pin those opponents down maybe at the 10-yard line or the 20-yard line, where they will have pretty bad field position. So that's one thing for sure. Look, if you got a punt, Thomas Morstead will be your guy. So that's one thing I look at doing this it's the punt, it's the special teams. Because look, if we kick that ball and we pin them down at the 6 yard line or the 5 yard line or such and such, look, the truth of the matter is we can get we can pin them we can keep them pinned down where they would have to drive maybe 90 yards or 70 yards or whatever to score. So that is important right there. That's important. Our special teams aspects are very important for this New Orleans Saints team. So we'll play a few more seconds of Thomas Morstead, and we'll also switch over to Demario Davis talking about Tiderbond with Saints. We'll go ahead and do that. So let's finish up with Thomas Morstead.
You know, they're always trying to get that new information, but at the end of the day, studies are done on groups of people, and everybody's individually a little different. So I think you still have to have the autonomy as a player to keep trying to see what works best for you. And there's a balance between those two.
And Thomas, when you talk about today's age and punting and how much you've seen it change in your career, where you had the traditional punt and you have the Aussie punt, is it pretty much now high school, college, or pros that punters are able to do both, or because obviously it's a difference, the angle and all that, or is that a common as
yeah,
seems like a second nature to you, obviously?
Yeah, like when I was a rookie, I had never done an end-over-end punt. Like I'd never worked on it, practiced it, and then when I got here, it was something that was, it was kind of foreign to me, and so. But it's like anything, as the game changes and adjusts, like, you can't be stuck in your ways, and you have to continue to adjust yourself. It's obviously you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, but especially for a punter where everything's quantitative, like you can measure everything. It's not like reaction or, everything's measurable. And like for me, I feel like every year I need to be in the top 3 guys. And that's kind of my goal. And so over time, that group gets better. And so you have to keep figuring out ways to, stay at the top. And so that's kind of the fun, never-ending challenge of doing.
Okay, that was Thomas Morstead talking about the punts and stuff like that. Look, the Aussie kick, I'm very impressed with those Aussie kicks. They're like rugbies. They'll kick that ball and it spins and stuff like that, and they'll get those get the necessary field position for the defense to make their plays. So also, what also I'm very impressed with is those sky kicks as well. When they kick the ball on a kickoff, they kick it back into the sky, and it kind of that's like in high school and stuff like that. I've seen those sky kicks. That's one thing. So make no mistake about it. He could do either one of those kicks, either one of those techniques to get perfect field position for the defense. So let's go ahead and go to Demario Davis. We're going to play him, and also we'll play Cam Jordan, and we'll also play Alvin Kamara clips. So let's go ahead and play that.
Demario, is there anything now with this defense that you don't know? I mean, is it truly everything second nature to you right now?
I think at this point, I got it down pat about as best as you can get it. But I mean, it's always little things that you can add. We put in some different things in the off season that we sharpening now, and I think we kind of probably got about 3 more installs. And so, just the more and more you get through it, you go through it, the better you become, more accustomed that you have at it. And I think that's the key to playing fast, is to get it down, make it second nature, so you can focus on what the offense is doing.
And Demario, how much pride do you take that I know you and Alex Anzalone and AJ Klein, I know you'll take pride running down the field with the receivers, but being able to be right there in coverage, 25, 30 yards down the field?
I think it's a spatial game now. You have to have hybrid linebackers that can get the job done in the box and make plays 15 plus yards down the field, because the tight ends are running deeper, running backs are running deeper, and every now and then you may get on a wide receiver on the slot or something like that. And so it's just the nature of the business, and it comes with the position. Now you have those responsibilities, and so you just got to make sure that you're prepared to do it and know where to get to those spots.
DeMario, they've had fans come up to us on the Saints radio and say, well, Demario Davis, to me, I know you're your own man, but they kind of view the great linebackers we've had here, Sam Mills, Jonathan Vilma. And they kind of even say now, because they're more familiar with Sean Payton, that Demario Davis is our new Jonathan Vilma. You got to take a lot of pride in that the fans view you that way.
Man, I mean, I got so much respect for guys like that, the guys that are in Saints glory and Saints Hall of Fame, and I got a tremendous amount of respect for those guys and the work that they put in. So to even be in the same conversation, is an honor. I know the game is a lot different now. Linebackers are asked to do a lot more stuff, especially in the coverage game now, and being going wider and deeper down the field. And so I try to focus on being as best I can in this area, and at the same time I have a lot of appreciation and respect, and utmost respect, praise for the guys who came in front of me.
Sean was just saying how a lot of teams may try to save those reviews for the second half now that pass interference is reviewable. So just being a player on the field, how do you guys deal with that? Maybe your first half play you may want to have reviewed, maybe not be, because obviously you got to think about all 4 quarters of the game. How do you think that's going to play in strategy now?
Well, I think that goes a lot more to the head coach than anything. The challenges have always been controlled by the head coach, and I mean he's listening inside his headset to the guys up top, and he'll know how to best use it. I don't think, as far as us, it affects us any different. If we get the call, we get it. If we don't get the call, we don't get it. And it kind of goes both ways. Sometimes defense you can get away with one. Sometimes offense gets away with a lot. But I think that's on the coach as far as how they want to review it, and you can't let that affect your game.
DeMar, how has it changed? Looking at now RPOs and you got Lamar Jackson, those type quarterbacks, Taysom Hill, that to honor that quarterback truly as a runner now, RG3 and all goes back, you're probably familiar. That even gives linebackers sometimes or assignment more responsibility.
Yeah, I think.
I'm gonna say something about the RPOs. Look, this is not gonna go away anytime soon. I know a lot of old school football fans are just gonna whine and moan about the RPO system, but the truth of the matter is, it helps out the game. Because look, if you got Taysom Hill at the quarterback, he can give you a running advantage. That's one thing he will give you in the RPOs is a running advantage. So I know a lot of fans will say, "Oh, I want to stick to the old school." Sure, they're gonna have the old school way, but the truth of the matter is, the new way is the perfect way. I mean, look, I'm not trying to bang on people who likes the old pass system and stuff like that, but these RPOs, look, they can confuse a defense in an instant. That's one thing you can rest assured, that these RPOs will be a lethal weapon for the for the offense. No matter if it's the Saints, no matter if it's the 49ers, no matter if it's the any 32 teams that will use that system. So he explained it pretty well with about the RPOs, Demario Davis. So let's go ahead and play some more of Demario Davis, and then we'll wrap it up. So we're just playing clips. We're just playing shorter clips. We're not playing longer clips. So let's go ahead and play. Go back and listen to them.
It's tough in the time you got the extra dynamic of a quarterback that can run, but what really helps them is they're able to keep plays alive longer. So it's not as much you fear them running down the field, because most time when they get down the field they slide anyways. But as much that they can keep plays alive longer, so you have to turn and find an open man that may be turning up the field wide open. But even more than the scrambling quarterback is just the run pass option, is that they can fake a run and it looks like a run. The linemen are coming downfield. The only people know it's a pass is the quarterback and the wide receiver. And so, you know, we've been trying to push and say, man, you got to call that flag because you got linemen down the field blocking. The quarterback pulls it and throws it. So for a linebacker, you can't get a read on that. You know, usually, in prior times, if the linemen come down the field, you know it's a run. If they standing straight up, you know it's a pass. But now they have a run play called.
Okay, and another thing about that, what he's saying about the reads, look, you have to learn to read those RPOs, because if you don't read those RPOs, the chances are you'll get beat on those RPOs. I mean, if it's say for instance, if Taysom Hill gets the ball, he runs with the ball, and most likely he'll try to pass. That's something that will confuse a lineman, whether it's a linebacker, a defensive end, or whatever. So you gotta be very on your toes when you see an RPO play. So we'll go ahead and play a few more minutes of them, and we'll wrap this up. So let's go ahead and listen to Demario Davis talk about once again the RPO. That's the subject right now.
All people know it's a pass is the quarterback and the receiver, and the lineman may be 3 yards down the field and he throw a slant route, but the linebacker's at the line of scrimmage. So it's hard on us. And so we just hope we get a few of those calls, but who knows.
You mentioned that how much linebacker press, the consistency with the group, most of the guys are back. Does that allow you guys to scheme things up a little differently, more complicated, do anything differently this year than maybe you did last year?
So ask that one more time.
So you're very consistent with the guys you have back. Does that allow you guys to do anything different, scheme anything different, more complicated this year than maybe you did last year?
Well, yeah, I think we have a closer bond. You know, some guys have been together for 3 years now, and most of us 2 years, and under the same coach. And so we have a really close bond, not just on the field but off the field. But I think that just kind of allows us to think along the same patterns. A lot of times we may change the blitz in the middle of the play without even saying it or communicating with each other, because we both kind of think along the same plane. And whether it's 2 of us or 3 of us on the field, we kind of find a groove of just kind of understanding how a guy plays, how a guy thinks, and that just puts us one step ahead. I feel like on the offense.
So that unspoken.
Okay, that concludes Demario Davis' interview with the media. Like he said, look, it's going to be hard to read those plays, the RPOs. But if the Saints can make an initial dial-up on the defense and call the right play to contain that RPO, they can get off the field. So that's from Demario Davis. We'll have Cam Jordan up talking about the defense, so they'll go ahead and do that. We'll also have Alvin Kamara, running back with the Saints. Also, he'll talk camp mentally at Saints training camp and a few topics into the. Let's go ahead and switch this over. Once again, we are playing just small clips. We're not playing large clips. We're not playing the whole thing because I don't want to get copyrighted or none of that stuff. So we're just going maybe a few minutes of those clips. So this, please don't get upset. This is just for my protection to keep me on the air. So that's look, that's unfortunate, but we have to do it. So let's go ahead and go to Cam Jordan. We'll listen to him.
At this point, I'm just trying to be better on the field. I don't know how to be better off the field. I don't.
Cam, you said the socks are in your locker. Are there more than one pair? Are you wearing the same
absolutely.
pair
No,
every
these
day?
are fresh pairs every day. These are one and dones. I've got a little corner full of I'm running low though. I got like 2 pairs. I do. I'm not a fan this year because I can't drop myself into a 2-point stance. Once you're on D-line play, unless you're in like a 3-4 situation, you can't make yourself an outside linebacker. I usually like to stand myself up. I like to throw D-line stunts in there whether the game wants it to or not.
Do you ever drop yourself in coverage?
Absolutely. You got when you're going against when you're going against a quarterback who likes checkdowns, then it's easy to boost your stats on the game.
Are player ratings that big of a discussion now in the locker room?
I mean, for ego for like a week. You get over it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to help us win any games. You wish you get a little bit more respect than you deserve. You see like a bunk rating on like your speed or, on your strength or whatever it is, or you see your stats and then you see somebody who you're clearly better than and they've got better stats or they got lesser stats than you and they have a higher rating than you. This is all locker room banner. You make fun of your friends. You call your friends around the league like, what are you? 70 what? Oh, 70 what?
Change, how would you assess how he's
Reverend, brother, Deacon, DeMar Davis. Phenomenal fit. I mean, the way he comes in to attack practice is the same way he comes in to attack games. Look at my dad. I appreciate it.
So, Cam, when you look last year, the run defense, right there with the Bears, wanted to, you in that category throughout. Is it more just being disciplined with the run fits, obviously the talent, but is it more just everybody doing their job or what?
Absolutely. When you talk about our run defense, you want to be stout on first and second down. If you want to have fun, you got to play first and second down the right way. You want to pass rush, you got to get to third down. You got to get them in a manageable distance. So it's got to be on the interior. It's got to be on the front seven, and that's the pressure you put on. Now, when it comes down to third down, that's when you rely on your secondary.
So on third down, look, he's saying the truth. You got to get to those third down positions. Also, the second downs, you have to make it maybe more uncomfortable for the offense, the opposing offense, to convert. So you have to. That's the thing about it. He's saying in this video about that. Look, those conversions. See, like on third down defense, like I said, if you can get them in third and long, or don't get them in shorts because that could be a devastating effect. Now on the second downs, I'd say get them in second and long. Maybe don't get them into short situations because that's going to be important to get off the field. You keep them in long situations. Let's go ahead and listen to Cam Jordan talk about more of the
your linebacker core and your pass rushers get after the quarterback.
Cam, you try to mentor some of the younger guys now a little bit more?
Absolutely not. I kick them to the side. I roll them in the ditch, and I hope they don't come out. No, absolutely. I mean, anything I can do to make the man beside me, the man behind me better, I'm always trying to give some sort of advice. I'm trying to give $1 million game for 99 cents. But, we all try our best. I mean, if you're not trying to push your other person to get better, like I'm always trying to push Marcus to do better, to be faster, because, he's a freak of nature. So if he can push him a little bit better, it's going to push me to be a little bit farther. I'm always trying to talk to Malcolm so you see where his head's at because he's come from an old defense over the Patriots to our defense.
How much do you think that could help, like Marcus does?
If Marcus becomes an all-pro player, you got two bookends. That sort of shuts down outside runs. That sort of shut down his quarterbacks. If you could push him to his highest ability right now, I feel like that's going to push us to the next tier. And all we need in our minds is one more game. One more game, we're in the biggest dance of our lives.
Cam, what has stood out to you about Malcolm Brown? They used to take veteran players away from you. Now they're bringing them.
Right? We brought in Malcolm Brown, Mario Edwards Jr. We got Ziggy Hood. Haven't heard Ziggy Hood in a minute, and he's come in, and there's veteran presence. You talk about Malcolm Brown and his stout run technique, but also his drive to play the run. Like he comes in and tells you, I'm here for this first second down action. But he's got surprisingly some decent wiggle. You hate to lose a guy like Tyler Davidson, but you bring in a guy like Malcolm Brown and you understand you got to trust the organization. When you talk about the interior work that we have, you need me to hold this for you?
No, you're good.
All right. So, you talk about just the interior presence that we have. I think it's the right core. Now we just got to congeal as a defense and be able to shut teams out.
Cam, we were obviously all so curious how you're going to respond from the way last season ended, start all over again.
I guess we're going to keep being curious till these live bullets happen.
Well,
we can always say we look great on paper, we look great in practice. Until the season actually takes a toll, we're not going to know what we have at hand.
What influence does that have on you, though, as you start this process? Do you feel it?
Absolutely. You're going to feel it every day. You look back at what could have been. You say, hey, 2 years ago, we make a tackle against the Vikings. We go play Philadelphia Eagles, and we probably win that, and we go on to a Super Bowl. Or last year, we play the Rams, and we finish out a game how we were supposed to. We should have kept on putting on points and put it on in our hands, but we didn't. It allowed us to go into overtime and lose a game that we felt strongly about. These are all just motivation factors. We talk about motivating factors to not only push yourself through the off season, come in the best shape of your life, push guys beside you, push guys behind you, and push the offensive lineman in front of you. Makes you better and stronger as a team. In that retrospect, if you're not trying to get better, you're trying to get worse, and we're always trying to get better.
Do you think you feel more motivation from it than it's hard to start all over again?
If you're not trying to get better, you're trying to get worse, and we're not trying to get worse.
Exactly. What he's saying is the truth. I mean, they're coming to camp to get better, not worse. That's one thing you got to look at during the season. Look, I know a lot of people are going to complain and moan and bitch and all that and say all kind of, we don't know what happened and all that. No, look, they come to this camp because they need to get better. Because last season, look, the run defense was pretty good. They stopped some people, but the truth of the matter is, look, that was last year. This is this year. And that's something that they're trying to flush and move on to this year. So that's my take. Once again, this is Cam Jordan talking about the defense. So we'll go ahead and play Alvin Kamara's clip a few minutes. So we'll play him.
To the gym, do you just work on upper body?
Leg days hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I work everything. I feel like I got a pretty strong lower body, but it's always things you can get better at. I mean, I'm not too big in the season on putting weight on my back and squatting, but like squats, cleans, and things like that during the off season, I try to implement.
The balance you have that everyone talks about, have you always had that, Alvin? Is that something that's innate, or do you work on it?
I think I've had it, but I've definitely worked on it. I've definitely worked on it now more in the past 3 years, 4 years, than more than before. I mean, every year it's just an evolution of trying to find new things to try and, I guess, increase that skill.
Alvin, these guys always talk about you have a smile on your face all the time. Why are you so happy?
I don't know. You gotta be. I mean, I think blessed, of course, but I think that's just me. I'm just easy going, fun. Try to make every situation fun, as fun as I can.
How do you make these situations fun out here running around in the heat when there are people who
you're gonna be out here? We're gonna be out here regardless. So I feel like if you're out here with the mindset of it's hot and we got to practice and run and hit each other, it's not going to go good. So I try to laugh my way through it. And shoot, it's done now. I'm about to go in and recover and sit in the AC.
Hey, Alvin, is there a sweet spot where, as far as your touches, when Ingram was in the first 4 games?
There ain't no sweet spot.
So it's just whatever they want you to do.
How much do you think your versatility really adds to the red zone offense as you work on that today?
It's a lot of things that I could do in the red zone. I mean, from 25, 20 yards in, our play book kind of gets concentrated, and we know what we want to do and we know how we want to attack. So, I mean, from being in the backfield, running routes out of the backfield to even our red zone runs, are very effective. Being able to split out, working combos, me and Mike and Ted, and we got Jared now. I mean, that's going to be huge in the red zone, getting him implemented. But me personally, I look forward to red zone because I feel like it's easier to score right there.
Alvin, getting back to those balance workouts you did this offseason, we saw some of the kind of wild videos you catching a color and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When did you kind of start incorporating the non-traditional stuff into your off-season repertoire?
I mean, really, I think it's just every year is just finding something new to challenge myself. So, I mean, of course, my trainer, Sharif Taba down in Miami, I think he does a good job of trying to find new ways to. He's basically trying to get me to fail. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to find something to basically get me all balanced. So, I mean, it's definitely an evolution. It's never perfect. Y'all just see the videos. The video is perfect. We're gonna catch the perfect angle. Sometimes I get the blooper reel on there, but I mean, there's a slow progression to that. It's never just one day I'm standing on a Bosu ball and I'm like, oh, I'll catch these colors. Like, start on the wall, doing squats on the ball, and it's other little things that we work on to build up to that. So it's just been, I think, really really concentrating on that the past 2 years, really just really concentrating on that.
That balance work. Are there moments in games where you've noticed over your career that those things make a noticeable? I mean, like
I wouldn't do it if I wouldn't do it if it didn't translate. It's simple.
When it comes to your route running, I know you've talked about wanting to expand your route tree. Like, do you work with Mike, or do you mold some routes after certain receivers when you're split out wide that you like to study, and then
I think. I feel like we got a good receiving core, so I watch these guys. I talked to Ted. Ted's been in the league.
So I'm gonna say this about like I said, I'm gonna say this about Alvin Kamara. Look, his route running will be noticed when he does run a screenplay or whatever or pass. He could be that wide receiver. He could be that running back and that wide receiver tandem. So he has, like I said, he has the intangibles to make the plays for the Saints. That's one thing he does have. Look, I mean, see, like the red zone. The red zone would be. He said it would be easier because the runs he does. They have to have an effective O line for him to make those runs. But here's the thing: you can give him the ball in space, and he can be dangerous on those plays in space. That's one thing you can look at with Alvin Kamara. So, look, he can be, like I said, he can be once again. He can be the running back. Also, he can play the wide receiver role as well. So, like I said, make no mistake about it. Look, he is more than capable. Look, also he was talking about the heat. Look, you got to overcome that. You got to get that out of your head that it's going to be hot and all that stuff and blah 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 blah. No, look, you got to overcome that. Look, and try to block that out of your head. So that's one thing you got to look at. So we once again we did play the Saints videos. Coach Payton, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Demario Davis, and also Thomas Morstead. We'll have more clips tomorrow. Once again, we have to play these videos in a minimal clip session because due to copyright restraints, we don't want to get any of that. So we don't want to have any trouble. So that's my take on Saints training camp. We'll move along, and that concludes the video section of the player and coaches interviews. So let's go ahead and switch over. Okay. Once again, in the third quarter, it is Ottawa of 21-20, 8:03 left to play. So Ottawa is up in the game. Let's give you some MLB scores before we continue with our show tonight. Blue Jays up 4-0 going into the bottom of the seventh. Top of the seventh is the Pirates up 5-3. Let's refresh the scores and see if we got new updates in. So bottom of the seventh it is 4-0. Top of the seventh also tied up at 2. White Sox and Phillies. Also the Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees up 4-2. Also it is the Cleveland Indians up 7-1, top 7. Also, right now it doesn't look good for Randy Kervin's team. It is 5-1. Reds on top of the Atlanta Braves. Now, bottom of the fourth, the Rangers up 3-1. The Astros going into the fourth inning, they're up 3-0. Let's see how Wade Miley's looking right now. in the game. We'll see how he's pitching tonight. Wade Miley. Let's go ahead and see what we have on him. We'll go to the box score. We'll see what we have. So just give me 1 second to switch over on Wade Miley. So we'll go to the box score and we'll see how Wade Miley looks. Because right now he's pitching for the Houston Astros. Let's pull up the box score on the screen. I'm going to do that in 1 second. Switch it over. So box score for the Houston and Seattle game. Waiting on it to come up. Give me 1 second for it to come up on the screen. It should come up on the screen. Okay. Let's see. Wade Miley. Let's see what his numbers are. Give me 1 second to switch it. Okay. Wade Miley right now pitching in the game. Right now he has 3 innings. He gave up 2 walks. He also had 5 strikeouts. His ERA is 2.98. So hopefully he does get those people out. I mean, look, because like I said, right now he's struggling. Right now he's got 2 walks. But the 5 strikeouts is not bad. I'm very happy with this, with his progress, with his pitching. So that's an update on the um, Astros and Mariners. Right now it is 3-0 Astros going into the 4th inning. Wade Miley is on the mound. Okay, let's begin with tonight's stories. Let's go ahead and I'll switch it over to ESPN. We have more information. This is line notes from Mike Triplett. Mike Triplett is a writer with the ESPN. So this is from 7 hours ago. Rookie center Eric McCoy has been a large majority of the first team snaps, so I think that's good with Eric McCoy being in the for the first team snaps as well. Louis signed Mario Edwards lined up with the starters, so he was in the on the first team. Also, let's see, while David Omega was absent. I don't know what's going to happen with that case. He most likely will get some time in jail and stuff like that. We don't know what happened, so hopefully that outcome will be settled. He has a 1-game suspension, so hopefully he doesn't get more. Now, Mike Triplett talks about red zone drills on Friday. No one surprised Breeze hit Thomas, Jalen Cook for touchdown passes. So I think, like I said, the red zones are very important in camp. I mean, I can't explain it any clearer to anybody about that. So I tried to keep I keep trying to temper my enthusiasm with Cook. Yeah, so he has to make some plays because that right there, they're going to be working on those red zones exactly. Now this is for Mike Triplett once again. Mike Triplett, 40-year-old Drew Brees, on his bonding with his 19-year-old with Zion Williamson. So that's very important right there. Zion Williamson and Drew Brees. That's let's give you some more information, field information. That okay, 3rd year Saints defensive end Trey Henderson flashes on the practice field a couple of times on Thursday. Sean Payton singled out him amongst the players standing out in the past week. So he's most likely he's progressing. Trey Henderson, he is progressing in his Now the next thing we'll be talking about with Mike Triplett, Um, Sean Payton asks, anyone stood out? Dwayne Washington. He said Dwayne Washington in his comments was mentioned in his comments. So, look, hopefully he gets in. He makes a roster spot for the Saints. Now, let's go ahead. Emmanuel Butler, also fellow rookie. A Elise Mack was absent in practice. So, this is notes from Mike Triplett. You can reach Mike Triplett at ESPN.com. Also, Saints release JT Barrett on Thursday and re-sign undrafted rookie Jake Powell and also from Monmouth. So they did have acquisitions in the Saints training camp. That was yesterday. So, okay. You can follow Mike Triplett. He has notes on Saints training camp. You can follow him at ESPN.com. That is ESPN.com. Just go to the Saints section and you can look at his notes and stuff like that. So that is let me see if the video the other thing is done. Okay, that is done. So the audio is done for the podcast. Once again, you can go to. We'll play another clip. So let me go ahead and switch it back on. Hold on 1 second. We'll add these segments. So let me go ahead and add this segment. Sports talk. 1 second. Add this. Add the episode. And then we'll go back to the segment. So let's set that up. Okay, we have the podcast back on. We'll have more segments going on. So issues with we're going red and stuff like that. So we just we're still on, but please don't be alarmed. We're waiting on the encoder signal to go back to green. So we're still on. Okay, let's go ahead and do that while it switches back on. So sorry about everything. Sorry about the delay. So we apologize. Okay, after Michael Thomas's $100 million deal, team makes X how it feels to have a Brinks truck pull up. This is what they're showing. This is a Brinks truck. That's the one that holds the money. So I'll be honest with you. Look, I know. Look, this is probably fun and games stuff like that, but the truth of the matter is, it had to happen. This contract had to happen because look, if you don't re-sign him, he was going to be a free agent this year, next year. So next year he was going to be a free agent. So he signed for through 2025. So make no mistake about it. So this is what we're showing you article wise. So um, that's pretty good. I mean, sure, he wanted 18 to 20 million dollars, but they offered him 100 million dollars and a 61 million dollar guarantee. So that is something right there. So this is a ESPN um, YouTube picture right there. So showing you once again the armored truck with all the money in it. So look. Okay, this is from staff reports at the Advocate/Times-Picayune. Advocate/Times-Picayune. Okay, let's talk about Lloyd Cushenberry and Kayvon Chasson carry will change jerseys. This is what they're going to be showing you. Cushenberry and Chasson to carry the number 18 tradition on. So I think this is um, quite essential to have this going on with these outstanding players with LSU. So, so number 18 was wore by defensive tackle LaCour and also fullback David Moore back in 2017. So um, I think it should continue with the tradition um, to, for those numbers. So that's my take on it. Um, um, 1-8 club. This is the 1-8 club. Okay, Jacob Hester Ward, Richard Dickinson, Richard Murphy, Brandon Taylor, also Bernie Logan, also um, Lemieux, Barlow, also Terrence McGee, and also Tre'Davious White back in 15 and 16. Also Moore in 17 and LeCompte in 17 and Foster Morrow. So you Cushenberry and Chasen will wear that number 18 jersey. So this is from Sheldon Nichols. You can reach Sheldon Nichols at theadvocate.com. That's theadvocate.com. Okay, preseason polls are out. Um, so that's the coaches poll. Um, Dan Arnold. Let's talk about Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold went into the off season discarded, but came out stronger, like night and day. So that's something. Look, we're looking forward to seeing Dan Arnold play on the team as one of the Saints starters. So this is from Nathan Brown. You can reach him at the Advocate / Tom's Picayune, Advocate / Tom's Picayune. So we're showing you the article. If you want to comment about um, Dan Arnold, you can comment through Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. All we ask you is please be keep it civil and keep it respectful. So that's from Nathan Brown. You can reach him at the Advocate / Tom's Picayune. That's the Advocate / Tom's Picayune. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the coaches polls. Um, the preseason coaches rankings are out. See where LSU is heading for 2019. Let's go ahead and show you the rankings. Give me 1 second to pull them up. Okay, as of right now, LSU is ranked number 6. That's in the top 10. So I think that's perfect going into the 2019 football season. Top 5 is Clemson with 59 votes. Also, Alabama received votes. Also, Georgia, Oklahoma, and also Ohio State round out the top 5. LSU is way below that. They're in the top 10, so I think that's um, perfect for LSU going into the 2019 football season. So LSU plays top 5 teams in the preseason top 25. In addition, Texas is in there. LSU will play Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, and also Auburn. So I say this: look, if LSU once again, and I'm not gonna rule out LSU winning the national championship this year. I'm not gonna rule that out. If we can stay healthy and do the things we have to do, then I say we will make it to the national championship, make it to the playoffs. I mean, we got the skills and we got the talent level. So that's one thing. There's no excuses not to make the college football playoff and also the national championship. I mean, will LSU win it? I don't think so. Because most likely, if Alabama gets in, they'll most likely will win it again. Or Clemson. If Clemson gets in again, that'll be another rematch between Alabama and Clemson. I mean, I would love to see LSU get into that top two. I would love that for the national championship. But we got to go through those playoff teams. I mean, look, we got Georgia Southern in 31 days on August 31st. Also, we got Texas on September 7th. So we have to not worry about that right now because, look, right now we have to get through the season. We can't be just sitting there walking our way through the national championship. That's not going to happen. So, um, this is from staff reports. You can reach the Advocate at theadvocate.com. That's in, and also it's an association with Times Picayune as well. Okay. Okay. Preseason LSU player report um, for preseason camp. Joe Burrow, you ready to go? I know I am. Absolutely. And that's what I want to hear out of Joe Burrow because, look, we're going to be counting on him to make plays during the season. Without a shadow of a doubt, he has to be on his game. And also, another thing, we have to once again, I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. I might sound like a broken record to people, but the truth of the matter is, look, LSU has to have an effective offensive line to diverse the passing and the running game. So, look, if the running game can be good in the first couple of weeks, and we get a good passing game, we'll be fine. We'll amount to wins. But look, that's gotta happen. That's gotta happen before um, anything else can happen. So that's my take on it. This is from let's see, switch this over. This is from once again Brooks Navina. Navina, you can reach him at the Advocate in Baton Rouge. So he writes for the Advocate. He's an LSU writer, so you can follow him. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about this. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll get some. Okay. Breeze and Kamara Michael Thomas makes the top 15 of the NFL Top 100. See where. Okay. These are the. This is from Amy. Uh, Josh, you can reach her at Times Picayune / The Advocate. Times Picayune / The Advocate. Um, Thomas and Kamara were back to back top 13 and 14. So I think that's very important right there. Also, Breeze um, led the Saints at number 2. So that I think this is good for these guys. But the thing is, don't let this go to your head because if you let this go to your head, if you're saying you're number 2, Thomas is number 13, and Kamara's number 14, look, that will affect your game. So these accolades are good. Don't get me wrong, but your performance on the field matters. Not some um, rankings that's just out of the wazoo. So that's my take on it. Um, do you think Breeze deserves to be number 2? Also, do you think Kamara deserves to be 13, and also Thomas 14? You can state your opinion via Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll watch it through the restream chat room. We'll make sure your opinion is out there, and we'll recognize it. If you think that's the right fit for the New Orleans Saints players, you can state your opinion. Um, all we ask you, once again, I'm going to keep saying it throughout this video, is please keep it civil and please keep it respectful, so everybody can get their opinion out there. So, um, so let's go ahead and move along. Okay. Okay, Austin Carr. Let's talk about Austin Carr. Pull him up 1 second. Okay, Austin Carr plays with Desire. He shrines in Thursday's practice, so that was very essential with Austin Carr um, at the tight end spot. So I look at it this way. Look, if he does kind of make the roster, I think it's going to probably be between, I'd say, the fourth or the fifth wide receiver. So that would be the case right there for the Saints. So he had a big day. This is we're looking at this article right here. So Austin Carr, look, he's going to put up some numbers. 2017, he had 3 offensive snaps and 6 on special teams against Miami. So look, if we can get him on, getting more snaps and stuff like that, I think he can be a big impact for this New Orleans Saints team. But that's up in the air because you're going to have Michael Thomas, you're going to have Butler, and you're going to also have most likely Grayson and also Carr. So that's one thing. Look, we're going to see what's going to happen next Friday night when the Saints play Minnesota in the first preseason game. Who stands out in that game? So this is from Emil Just. You can reach her at the Advocate/Times-Picayune. That's the Advocate/Times-Picayune. Okay. Okay. After Michael Thomas's deal, Julio Jones also wants to be a highest paid player. Look, that's according to Pro Football Reports. Um, he also wants to have a deal. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, look, if he can be that quality wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, I think he is. Don't get me wrong. I think he is a quality wide receiver. But the truth of the matter is, look, that's copycatting right there. That's copycatting Michael Thomas. That's what that is. That's absolutely copycatting what Michael Thomas did. I know a lot of people is gonna blow a gasket about it, say, "Oh, it's gonna break the bank and break the salary cap." But the truth of the matter is, look, if this guy had some production, we'll show you his production. Let's pull this up in 1 second. I'm gonna show you Julio Jones' production. Switch it over. I'm gonna go to Pro Football Reference.com. We're gonna give you his production on the field. Give me 1 second to pull it up. I'm about to pull it up in 1 second. Let me go ahead and get that research up for Julio Jones. We'll come back to the article in just a few minutes. I'm going to switch it over. Let's go to Atlanta. We'll go to get Julio Jones um, numbers. We'll get it in a second. Let me get it switched over. Okay, let's switch it out. Okay. Okay. Julio Jones last season had 113 catches for 1,677 yards. His average, look, he was at 14.8. He had 8 touchdowns. So that's something right there. So if he's productive, so that's his numbers right there we're looking at. Julio Jones. Also in his career, he had 51 touchdowns. He had 107,031 yards. He also had a 15.4 average. So I say if look, if he wants to be the highest paid player, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm 100% all for it because his numbers in his career and also his numbers in 2018 kind of stood out for the Atlanta wide receiver. Um, so let's give you his okay. Let's give you his numbers. Okay, let's give you his 2000. Let's see. I'm gonna see if we give you his couple of let's give you his rushing receiving numbers. Okay. 2018. That's his numbers. He ran. Let's see. He had he ran on let's see. I'm looking at it right now. His wide receiver catches, his yards per game was 104.8. His catch was 66.5. So it's low outstanding, about close to maybe 70%, under 70%. So he was under 70% in his he was targeted for yards for 9.9. So look, pay him if you want to pay if you want to give him that $100 million, pay him because he can be the viable wide receiver um, for the Falcons. So his yards, total yards, was 1,689 yards. He had a 14.7 yards per let's see, yards for on scrimmage yards. So his scrimmage yards was kind of perfect. He had a 60. He had 1689, 14.7. He had 115 touches. So he got the ball 115 times as the wide receiver with the Atlanta Falcons. So let's give you his game. I'm going to give you his game summaries. Let's give you his game log summaries. I'm going to give you his game log summaries. Let's go ahead and give you his game log summaries for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go ahead and do that 1 second. His last game was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Julio Jones. He had 9 catches for 138 yards. That's a 15.3 average. 15.3 average. 15.3. So he had a 15.3 average. So that was against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So he had 138 yards. He also his catch receptions was 69%, 69.2. That's close to 70%. So it's close for Julio Jones. That was in the regular season. Now against the Saints, let's give you his numbers against the Saints. That was in let's see, that was on September 23rd. We'll give you his numbers against the Saints. Let's pull that up 1 second. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay. Okay, that was against let's see. Okay, against the Saints, he had 5 catches for 96 yards. 5 catches for 96 yards. That was back in September of last year. His receiver catch rate was 83%. So he caught some balls against the Saints. So he was a little trouble against the Saints. His yards per target was 16.0. Now, so this was against let's see, we'll pull this up. Okay, this was against the Saints um, at in the Superdome. He had 11 catches for 147 yards. Excuse me. That's 13.3 yards per average, and also his receiver catch yards on targets was 78.6%. 78.6%. So um, the argument is, if he wants to get that money like Michael Thomas, so be it. Let him get the money. Like Michael Thomas. Look, I know they're going to cry about it, but the truth of the matter is, look, his production in games speaks for itself. So, I mean, look, I know a lot of people's going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, but these are the stats we show you right here. These are not phony or fake or whatever, or get off of social media stuff. No, this is legitimate stats. So that's my take on it. What's yours? Do you think Julio Jones deserves more money with the Atlanta Falcons? You can state your opinion through Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. So we'll have it. Your comment will be displayed in the Restream chat room. So wherever you're from, wherever you're watching from, you can give me your opinion. So um, his average is $14.25 million on the Atlanta Bucks until 2020. So if he wants to get that number, his stuff up, that would be his. So this is from once again. This is from the staff reports of the Times Picayune. No, also um, the Advocate. So okay. Let's see. We did talk about Julio Jones. Kind of see what else we could talk about. Okay. Looking at the screen. Okay. Let's talk about the LSU offensive lineman getting suspended. Okay. LSU's suspended offensive lineman may return if things go right on September 13th. So his trial is September 13th. So that's an update on him. So on Ed Ingram. So let's go ahead and see what else we talk about tonight in tonight's show. Okay. Okay. LSU receives a commitment from West Monroe. Um, LSU receives punter Peyton Todd. He is from West Monroe High School. He is in the 2021 recruiting class. So I think this is good because look, LSU has Von Rosenberg, and if once he's gone, they're gonna have to replace him with another punter. So I think this is good for LSU to get another commitment under their belt. So he is coming to LSU. He is from the West Monroe High School Rebels. So, so this is from the Advocate. Let me see if we're finished with the podcast. So we're finished with part two. Okay, 28 minutes. We're still in. We're still recording. So 28 minutes. So let's go ahead and switch this over. Okay, let's talk about the helmet rule. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay, NFL officials emphasize the use of helmet rule, offensive holding in 2019. Um, yes, I think this is very important that if you don't have your helmet on properly, they can flag you without a shadow of a doubt. They could flag it. It could be an offensive holding, no matter what. Look, so I know it stinks and all that, but hey, the NFL, I mean, with its wisdom, is looking out for safety, and that's one thing they're doing. They're not trying to take the game away from everybody and the fans and stuff like that. The experience, no, not by a long shot. These helmet rules are in place for a reason, to protect these players from getting concussions. That's one thing you got to look at. This is protecting these players. This is not taking away the fun and frivolity of the NFL. So that's my take on it. You could go to the Advocate slash Times Picayune, Advocate slash Times Picayune. Okay, what else we need to talk about? Okay, with defensive line coach in a wheelchair after injury, LSU coach Ed Ursaron will coach unit as much as I can. Hopefully, the Dennis Johnson, he is the offensive line coach. Both knees was injured. He will not coach on the field. He will um, when preseason practice begins. So Coach Ogeron will be the defensive line coach. He will serve in that, and also the head coach. I think it's very appropriate for him to um, coach the defensive line. So he's got experience with those as an assistant coach. So I think it's very appropriate. So this is from Wilson Alexander. You can reach him at the Advocate. That's in Baton Rouge. That's the Baton Rouge side. So let's see what else we need to talk about. Let's go to Louisiana Gridiron Football. That's a new site we're going to be featuring here on this broadcast. We'll see what's happening, and this is a pretty good site. I encourage you to check it out. LouisianaGridironFootball.com. That's LouisianaGridironFootball.com. They talk. This is first day at LSU training camp. This is what this is the articles we're showing you in the screen. So first day began for the LSU football Tigers. Um, Darius Morris did practice today, so he did was on the field. Let's see, Coach Brady energized party start practice, screaming, push the tempo up, and that's important. That's absolutely important for this team this year. If you push up the tempo, because look, you push that tempo, you could be an elite offense. That's one thing that's going to be coming out of this camp. So, um, also, let's see. On defense, Kayvon Chasson returned to practice. So after suffering an injury, so he's on the practice field. Also, defensive Rayshard Lawrence and Brandon Fihoko looked at top of the shape. So Coach Johnson cannot be there due to his injury. So this is football notes from LSU football training camp day one. That was today. This is from Josh Shelby. You can reach him at Louisiana Gridiron Football. That is LouisianaGridironFootball.com. You can follow their page, give them a like and stuff like that. That this is a very informative website for everybody to look at. So um, So let's see if they got any more news articles. We did talk about Southeastern training camp going on. We'll see if we can get another um, update on Southeastern training camp. I don't know if they have it up there. So these are your diamonds and the rups. We'll also be talking about high school football later on in the in the month. So we'll be talking about that as well. So let's see if we got any more posts. I think they don't. That's the only post they had out today. You can follow Louisiana teams. You can follow Grambling, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana College, LSU, McNeese State, Nicholls State, also Northwestern State, Southeastern Southern, and Tulane and ULL. Let's see if we got anything on Southern football. I don't think so. I don't think they have recent articles. So that is the low tidbit on Louisiana gridiron football. You could go to once again LouisianaGridironFootball.com. So let's see what else we could talk about. Let's see. We've been going an hour and 39 minutes. So I'm probably gonna see if we have Southeastern football. I'm gonna pull it up in 1 second. Let me see if I can go to the Southeastern website and get Southeastern football because they had day 2 of training camp. We'll go ahead and talk about training camps. We're waiting on the Southeastern website to come up. Comes up. I might have to disable the ad blocker. Give me 1 second. Disable my ad blocker so we'll be able to get access. No, I don't think we have anything. I'm trying to see if we can pull up some information from Southeastern. I'm trying to see if we can. I don't think we can. I don't know what's going on with the website tonight. So I apologize. We can't get the information come in on Southeastern football. So switch it back on. So that's the training camp information. Okay, I'm gonna see if we can go to the Lafayette. Go to the Baton Rouge Advocate. We'll see if we got anything on Southern and let's see if we got anything. We'll go to the training camp and see if we got anything. We'll go ahead and pull this out. Give me 1 second to pull out the Let's see if we got any information with Southern. Let's see what's happening at Southern University during training camp. Okay, got everything on the screen. Please don't please don't get upset because we're running the thing on there, so I'm making sure everything comes on. Um, I don't think they have anything on um, Southern football. So the Advocate Baton Rouge segment don't have anything on Southern. So we'll go ahead and turn off the show. Let me switch out. Waiting on it to come. I don't know why it's not coming out. Hold on. Okay, everything's off the screen. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. Why I'm froze. Okay, let's switch this over. Okay. Okay, this concludes tonight's Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Friday, August 2nd. We'll be back on tomorrow again. We'll go into training camp. If we have news articles from that, we'll go ahead and go over that. We'll also have Canadian football recaps, and also we'll have baseball recaps with the Baby Cakes and Biloxi Shuckers. So we'll have that tomorrow. So I'll be on tomorrow, probably 11 a.m. or most likely noon, depending on the time. So we'll be back on. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. It's very important. Share this video. We want to get this video out there. Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer on Facebook, WordPress, Instagram, Tumblr, and Reddit. Also, you can email me at any time at kerry.wehmeyer. That's kerry.wehmeyer at yahoo.com. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/kerry.wehmeyer. And once again, put the number 75. Also, you can follow me on the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Facebook page. That's facebook.com/KLW. That's KLW. That's my initials. 782540. That's 782540. Also, you can follow me on Tumblr at Sports Talk number 78. Also, you can follow me on Reddit. That's reddit.com/LSU Tulane 2505. You got to put the underscore. That's underscore as well. Also on Instagram at Sports Talk 2505. Just put sports underscore talk 2505. Also, you can follow me on the Sports Talk 78 WordPress page. That's Sports Talk 78 underscore sports underscore blog. That's Sports Talk 78 dot blog slash. That's dot blog and then slash. So everything's on the screen. So everybody, once again, have a good rest of your Friday evening. We'll see you tomorrow.